Hi and welcome to Spiritual Link, the podcast. A podcast about how developing spiritual well-being can help you in your daily life and how that can enhance your confidence in who you are and what you are. The podcast is hosted by Inez and Tor. Inez is a development medium with over 30 years of experience in the field, and Thor has been her apprentice since 2013. On the podcast, we are going to cover a broad range of topics such as meditation, chakras, intuition, and crystals, only to mention a few. In this episode, we are going to be talking about the color band and chakra red. You can support us by sharing the episode on your social media channels, subscribing to our podcast, and leaving a review. Remember, you can always find us on @SpiritualLinkCo on Instagram. Hi Inez, how you been?
Very well. Beautiful weather, which is wonderful.
It is so warm, isn't it? And I'm having such a first world problem in that my room is south facing with huge big windows. So my room is absolutely
Warm.
boiling.
Well, you look cool. You look very cool.
Thank you. It feels like the sweat is like dropping on the back of my neck, really.
Good for the complexion.
Great for the complexion. So no, it is definitely warm. But you can't complain. England, warm weather, it's great.
Nice. Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I was really looking forward to this this session because we're going to start talking about color.
Yeah.
And color, because this is a spiritual link. Our conversation will be not only about the color, which we're starting with red, but how color is incorporated in the spiritual link. As we start with color, everyone's idea of color is possibly seen a little bit differently. Not only how the mind sees the color, but the recognition of color is not only physical, but this is also, let us say, a more psychic feel of how we perceive and understand color. Color goes into the retina, and then as it hits the retina, it is then reflected into the mind. And as it's reflected into the mind, it becomes an autonomous part within the body. And that part of the body is the other part of our nervous system. Awareness, and perhaps what we can call awareness of the unaware, of the non-aware. And these two parts come very close together. And when one works on the other, it is then that we have true realization, perhaps, of what color is and what color means to that individual. But those two areas need to come together within that part of the mind, which then brings forward that understanding of why we're even talking about color. Immediately, that color hits the awareness. And of course, as soon as we see that red, as we take today, it replenishes that color, that color band. The important thing is, some colors, you can actually possibly prevent future illness from coming forward, because it is seen within the color spectrum of what is being weakened. The color spectrum I am now referring to is our aura. And within the aura, there are chakrams as well. To the chakrams, which are the aura is the spirit that is around us. The chakrams are all white to begin with, but the sun takes each chakram color in turn. And that chakram color comes into perspective because of the rays of the sun. The chakrams are very much the turn of life. They are the power of life. They are the movement in which we move through this world. Chakram is a Sanskrit word, which comes from a very, very long time back, from Eastern understanding. Of course, it means the wheel. Sanskrit for wheel. And as we know it, the wheel turns. It takes us from one spot to another through our movement in life. Therefore, it is an ever-turning wheel. an ever-turning wheel with a spectrum of the colors. These spectrum of colors revolve around ourselves, and this is the pattern of our life. A wheel, of course, means, and I'm mentioning this of the chakrams because I want to reiterate and bring forward the importance of colors and why we're even talking of colors. The colors, the color bands, the color chakrams. Of course, the wheel means moving, transport, never still. And of course, nor are we, because if you think of it, we are never still. Nothing is ever the same. Even from 1/2 second to the next, everything is continually moving on. Even if we sleep, our thoughts are changing. Even if we are awake, that is what is happening as well. Possibly everything around us is always changing. So we are a continual wheel. Now, if we talk, therefore, of balancing the chakrams as we come to the colors itself, what we're doing with balancing, recognizing the chakrams, we're getting them in condition for that particular emotional revolving at that time of ourselves, of our life, of our emotional selves, of our physical lives. We are talking, therefore, of balancing the chakrams to get them into the condition of that particular emotional self and physical self at that particular time of our life. Now, you might ask, why balance them? What is it? How do these, if we take a wheel has spokes. How do these spokes become broken? They can become broken through ill health, through stress sometimes, but also with certain areas that we are doing, such as walking, running, in a haste, anxiety. If we have a wheel on a car, it has to be balanced, because at such speed, the wheels that the automobile travels on those wheels, at such speed, such a movement would need perfect control of going over the bumps, as in our case, the bumps of life. So the wheel of our life, of our engine, also needs to be balanced for the bumps that occur within our life. And by balancing the chakrams, by balancing the colors as well, it brings back an alignment of our own engine. When we talk of meditation, as we did last week, all of this is exactly the same topic, but what we are doing is we're just taking one part of the whole in order to understand it. In meditation, the body, the mind, the inner mind, the power of self can be directed to see through those areas of colors. And we're able to see with the inner mind, to feel with the inner mind where those imbalances in our life are. So as we talk about the sun, taking each chakram color or each color band into its own perspective. And if we're saying that certain colors are able to heal certain or help to eradicate certain illnesses, what we're talking about is a cosmic energy. So when we talk of color, we are therefore talking of a cosmic energy. And the force of cosmic energy is what keeps everything moving. The cosmic energy is an electrical force. Not only does it keep the body moving as well, but it keeps the whole world. And the whole atmosphere is moved by the same color therapy that comes from the rays of the sun. And what happens when one becomes ill and the body becomes diseased? We find that we have what is called a color starvation. And therefore, following from what we have just said, we're then talking about color healing through the power of color. So if we are going to see color, maybe with a physical eye, feel color, and so forth, hear color, taste color, it will bring forward that balance within our own chakrams, within our own color bands. The power of energy that is stored within the cosmos is quite fantastic. And if we think of a flash of lightning, All of that is coming from the power that is around us, to the power that is within us, within the world, within ourselves, within everything living, with the plants, everything. Therefore, we are part of that power. We are part of that cosmic consciousness, which is color. So if we talk of color starvation, everything that we're able to do is to trigger off that power of self-healing through the recognition and the use of color, which also means the color bands, because that is the totalness of life. Color bands are also the chakrams, the wheel of life, all the same. All the other situations are ways in which one can overcome the color situation, the color starvation. Now, if somebody is listening to this and they say, well, I'm so sorry, I'm blind. I don't need to listen to this. I don't see color. I'm colorblind, you know. The red and the green are the same. The amber means nothing at all. It makes absolutely no difference how any of us are able to perceive or to see color. It matters not one iota. Color is still drawn into our bodies. Color is still able to be recognized in an individual fashion according to our abilities. Interpretation, as I said at the outset, is always different. It will always be different. Interpretation even for parts of the body. If we talk about the naming of the chakrams, it is still can also be totally different. So if we talk about the chakrams, in any sense, the colors in any shape or form, we are talking about the emotional parts of a body. If we take the heart, we say, oh, love is the heart. It is a functioning organ. We put on that denotion that it is love. The heart is love. Perhaps it was given that indication because it is a very important organ. Without the heart, guess what? We die. Organs cannot be anything but their pure function. But what one would probably mean in that area, the stomach or the spleen, whatever, because it is such a very sensitive area, we also give it an impression of, I have a gut reaction. Because it is so sensitive, very often our emotional self will go down to that part of the body. And the reason I'm mentioning organs or parts of our body is that is another way that many individuals are able to identify and relate to colors. If it's the heart, some people could see it as pink, others see it as green. If perhaps you have a sensitive feeling around the spleen or stomach, it could also be an indication of that is the color that you need. It doesn't always have to be one of pain. It is individually on how we see and how we feel color. The best thing is to always follow your own instinct, your own interpretation, because we do tend as human beings to put labels upon things. No one can deny it, but yet it isn't something that is necessarily taught. So follow your own instincts. Today, what we thought we would do, we would start with the color band and the chakra of red, because the color bands are the totalness of life. Anyway, we get to the base chakra, which is between the legs. It is part of the reproduction area. It is called the emotional body or the desire body. It is also the astral, which is grounding. Now that color, there are also Sanskrit names for this. We're not going to become complicated. If you are very interested in color in more depth, there are some fantastic books which you can go online, go to libraries, whatever you wish to do. But the red is the base chakra, also known as the Kundalini. And usually we begin counting, if you like, of the 7 chakras with that one. So that is number 1. It is a chakram because it's the base, it's the grounding, it's sexual, can be sexual, can be aggressive, it's survival. So it's called the root chakra. It is the roots. The roots hold the tree as well. It's a connection with the earth. It's part of the immune system. And the organs that are related to, to the red, are the bones, the skeleton, the base of the spine, legs, feet, large intestines, and also genitals. So when you're giving a healing, or when you're trying to identify that a little bit more, if you're standing straight, your arms are at your side, and you know where the genitals are, your hands are at your side, and you draw a line across that area. Everything from that part down to your toes is red, It is also, as I mentioned, you can smell it, you can hear it, you can feel it. There are countless ways of individuality that we come to it. It's an element of worth, of the earth. All right, when the red is weak, you can also feel very, very spacey. It can also be maybe something's wrong with your, let's just say, with your body and so on. Feet, legs, if you have a really throbbing toe, for example, you stub it and it so hurts. That can also reflect on the red chakra as well. It'll be weak because it's, the body is trying to heal itself. Knees and bones, that situation. Would also, would you believe, also would include sciatica, because if you look at the sexual organs, they're just by the hip bone where the sciatica takes hold as well. Lower digestion, hemorrhoids, that's constipation, so on and so forth. None of what we're saying says that you will be cured of hemorrhoids or your sciatica will go away. But what we can do is by rejuvenating the red, by bringing it up to scratch or more up to scratch, is that possibly the immune system can somehow encourage you to either, with sciatica, exercises are excellent, to have the inclination to do something about hemorrhoids. See a doctor about it. The body can help itself if you get that, first of all, that help from the doctor, then we can help ourselves as well. Constipation, guess what? Have a bowl of prunes. It is a survival. As I said, it's survival. I can, I will, comes from that type of situation. Now, then the prunes are also high blood pressure. Anemia, also depression as well. It's the base chakra. Rheumatism, which you believe. Of course, a high heart rate comes with high blood pressure as well. So if something is high, what do? We try to reduce it as well. So we calm things down. What it can control, what this wonderful red can control, it controls the physical well-being as well as the spiritual power. It can also control problems of the chest, meaning tuberculosis, because the red gets the adrenaline going. It can take the weakness, the one color. If somebody looks really green, you've heard it saying, you need a pint of blood. It's the pallor of everything. It can revive nervous exhaustion, which of course takes away weakness. It's the same sort of thing. Stimulating the mind. Gout is caused by salt deposits in the big toe. Now, there are 2 ways of doing it. Some wonderful reflexology, pushing around, hurts. Or you can do it gently with color. Put red around it, and it will dissolve those salt particles, and those salt particles will be released through any opening that we've got. You can wee them out, you can poo them out. Ear ducts, sweat ducts, cough it out. Anything that has an opening, it can release that as well. And also, curative, what it can help is rheumatism, rheumatic arthritis. It can help. It really, really does help. So, red is a very warm, lovely feeling, heavy, relaxing feeling, which takes away weakness. So how do we go about this? It will be a short explanation. Anyone who has any questions, we will certainly, and it's the power of life, we will answer them. It's the power of life. So what do? You go into meditation, practice meditation. We have not gone into wonderful crystals yet, because they also help. But let's say you place your hand over each part of your body, and because we are condensing this on the color red, you get the feeling, you know you're weak, you've got this, you've got that, and you think, yeah, I think the red is not very good. You concentrate, you do not ever, ever open the chakra door more than just a little bit. Not necessary. The other chakrams are different, but that is the power of our life. If it is open too much, guess what? You will have a sexual overdrive. Trust me, that is not funny. It really is not healthy either. Or it can go into the mind and you become aggressive. The saying goes, I see red. Red is aggression. Not good. So you keep the little red doors a teeny weeny bit open. That's all you need. And then you have a little bit of red paper, and then you just think of it. Bring color into it, bring life into it, bring like an electric switch that we said in the other meeting. Switch it on. See it glow. See it glow. And as you see it glow, imagine in your mind debris coming out. It may not just be a one-off that you have to do this, maybe a few times, but you will feel the difference. If it is too hot, if it's too red and too vibrant, pour a bucket of water over it. What I've also noticed from individuals, that if a color is weak, you're drawn to buying perhaps a T-shirt or something of a particular color, or maybe a little ornament or trinket, or even flowers that has that color. Or all of a sudden you crave certain foods. Perhaps, well, at the moment we have a lot of wonderful red fruits available to us. Anything like that will replenish as well. It is a very short, a little analysis of what red will give us. But it is very, very important. Very important indeed. It is survival. And from that survival, it feeds the immune system. We cannot go against karma or the path of life, but we can certainly get the best out of what our life has to offer. And that is what our podcast is about. Both the physical and the spiritual work together, hand in hand, like that beautiful song that goes, ebony and ivory. It is the same thing as the keyboard of life. They work together. All of us can work together. Any questions? Let us know.
Yeah, please. If you have any questions, let us know. And Ines, I just want to say, and thank you for sharing that, because that was incredibly interesting, just
Thank you.
listening to all the different facets of red. And I mean, what you shared today is like quarter of a page of the leaflet or sort of book, which includes everything which has to do with red, right? So just to put out, there's so much more to explore, and we will be going over that in other podcast episodes. We just wanted to give everybody a flavor, right?
Absolutely.
Of red.
And go online, get more information if you're interested. Interest is good.
Yeah.
Everyone's interpretation will be different.
Yeah. So if we want to leave our listeners with a positive message for the week, what's a positive message for the week, Ines?
The very positive message is, through change comes a totally new, wonderful horizon. And that change is, my God, the world is going through hell. The only good thing about that is it's not just us, it is everybody, and we really need to unite. We're all the same. We all breathe the same air. We all need food. We all need love and TLC. And when you're meditating, never just to close the chakrams. If you're doing that, send out healing, send out positive thoughts, and not just blanket it across the world. It does work. And that same positive thought, you feed back into yourself. and you make that red glow.
Thank you. Amazing. Well, we welcome everybody back next week.
Yeah.
And see you again next week. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you have any questions, comments, or want us to explore a topic deeper, please reach out on our Instagram account @spirituallinkco.